knows it.
Yeah, we've seen a couple Archon players as well. We saw Backspace.
Yeah, Backspace made it to the semis.
Yep.
Hosty, I believe, lost in the first round,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So right now, it seems like Tempo Storm's getting the best of them. Amaz is going to look to change that.
Well, you know, leadership, a good mark of leadership is to surround yourself with people who are better than you. And Reynad is a really good leader. That's why I think Gaara's got this.
It's a good thing Reynad's probably sleeping right now.
Yeah, he's probably what probably he's doing is he's just waking up. He finished blow drying his hair that he started 3 hours ago. He's eating some cereal.
He's gonna stream for 10 minutes.
His kitchen only has 2 things. It has bread and cereal. He's probably eating some cereal, chewing, and then like shaking his head as he listens to this cast because he's probably watching and cheering Gaara on for sure.
The 2 main food groups, bread and cereal.
That's good. That's good.
Unstable Portal.
Yeah, Unstable Portal is one of those really, like, it's just such an Amaz card. Like, a lot of people would take it out because they don't feel like it fits into the consistent rhythm of a mech mage. But, like, Amaz would definitely play Unstable Portal. If there's one player that you're like, well, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he Unstable Portaled.
What?
No
Do
way.
it! Do it! What's the worst that can happen against the handlock? He's just gonna life tap next turn.
Yeah. He can't deal with it. Oh, Dark Bomb Mortal Coil.
Or Hellfire Mortal Coil.
He'd be able to Dark Bomb Mortal Coil next turn anyway.
Super awkward.
Wow.
And actually kind of hilarious because that Gaara can deal with it for free and life tap. He can Hellfire Mortal Coil life tap. Whatever. You know what? Interestingly enough, though, Hellfire is one of the better cards to have against this deck.
That's true. Yeah, he just used like one of his main AoE removals.
Exactly. And now Gaara knows that it's not a passive freeze mage deck, so he has to actually play a little bit more aggressive. I really like the evaluation that he has to go for the Nation Watcher now that he has the Iron Beak Owl. It's a very good observation. And of course, Amaz, he just has spells in his hand, so this is the best that he can do.
That was a really interesting interaction to start off.
Yeah, that's not the start of the game that I was anticipating.
No. Oh, I anticipated it.
No, you do.
You're right. I didn't. I'm a fraud.
That's an awesome term, by the way. Again, how FGC always says, like, calls people fraud and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the best thing that Amaz can do is just keep up the board momentum. Take out the Iron Beak Owl for free. Gaara hasn't tapped actually that much, so he's going to be, after the Sludge Belcher, he's going to be looking for some plays.
You're pretty edgy to call it the FGC.
Why?
Just an edgy thing to do. You're so edgy, Dan.
Why is that edgy?
I don't know.
Is it too edgy for you?
Might be.
Oh, alright.
It's another good name for a team.
Hmm.
To join the Clutch Jugglers. Too edgy for you.
3 edgy, 5 me. Well, this is still really awkward for Amaz. You have to spend 2 cards effectively to get rid of this. I think the Spider Tank developed something a little bit better. He already used a Mortal Coil.
Does Mech Mage play Arcane Intellect that often? I feel like it's a card that a lot of Mech Mages don't put in.
It's a good point. Maybe it's not a common thing at all.
Because it's usually on... I mean, it's good for refilling your hand later. But it seems like on turn 3, that's a crucial turn for Mech Mage. That's a turn that they usually make big things happen. I mean, Unstable Portals, at least in a tournament setting, is not necessarily a card that you see in Mech Mage either, but who knows? We haven't seen the rest of this deck yet, so can't really make too many judgments on it.
Alright, well, Arcane Intellect's actually pretty strong in this position,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Mhm.
Maybe not necessarily strong. I think maybe if it was another card to play, like the Goblin Blast Mage, because if he
Yeah.
draws a Goblin Blast Mage or a Mechanical Yeti, he can't play it now.
It doesn't seem like in Mech Mage it would ever like improve your position in a game.
Late game, when you're running out of cards, it does, generally speaking.
Yeah, but that's true. I feel like there would be better ways to like replenish your hand.
But Amaz is forced to play this really slow.
Yeah.
And I can't help but get worried for him because I feel like the longer this game goes, Handlock's going to be in a really good spot because how they outpace the Mech Mage, like card-wise.
Now, sometimes this deck can do really well against Handlock because they can usually have enough of a burst early on to be able to put him in range for their reach.
It's a pretty good draw, almost as good as it gets with the Ancient Watcher. Because now you can pair with the Defender of Argus. Although maybe you don't feel like you have to. The pressure isn't that high at the moment. He only has 2 cards remaining.
Has Shadow Flame in his hand as well.
One thing you have to be in the back of your mind is what is your opponent is capable of playing the next turns. And he's capable of playing Dr. Boom. Great draw again. Gaara's running really well this game so far.
Alright.
So,
Well, he knows that those aren't 3 real cards. 2 of those are spare parts.
yeah, I have to imagine Amaz is looking for Antonitis or something similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
So the danger of playing the Pilot Shredder is if both of those die, he has no mechs to get Tinkertown value on.
Or Cogmaster even.
Right. I think the Tinkertown Technician Cogmaster play is slightly better.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
it's also vulnerable to Shadow Flame. So like, it's like a pick your poison here.
There is a small chance that Pod of Shredder could get a mech.
Sure.
Mech Warper, Micro Machine.
2 Time Rewinders. Is there any application to that at all?
In this deck? Not really, because it's kind of counterintuitive to
Maybe
Archmage
the
Antonitis.
Goblin Blast Mage.
Oh, that's true. But Archmage Antonitis, it's probably the one that you'd want the least, because if you play it on an empty board, then you can't spam spare parts. You have to play Archmage Antonitis and then only get one piece of...
I mean, Gaara has a really strong board wipe now. He doesn't have to play the Dr. Boom, even though it feels like it's great to play it on curve. Because there is 10 damage, and if his opponent had, like, you know, fireballs, 2 fireballs, he'd die. It is unlikely, though, because you know 3 of those cards, if you're paying attention, have been spare parts, so
Yeah.
he would have to top deck the last answer.
I wonder.
Would you tap Shadow Flame? Yeah.
Yes.
Just feel like it's just too strong.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage on board.
I like that you're getting at a... I like that you're still collecting and keeping your card count high enough so that way it's applicable to have like Molten Giant be supported instead of just Molten Giant. Pretty devastating though for Amaz.
Yeah.
I mean, Snow Chugger is okay. He needs to start finding his reach. He used both Frostbolts unfortunately, which means Fireballs are his final remaining points of direct damage.
And that's one of the reasons why I like the Ancient Watcher Shadow Flame in that situation, because even if he just goes all phase next turn, what, 10 damage on board? Puts him at 10. Even if he activates Molten Giants and puts your opponent on a really short clock. Oh, there's Goblin Blast Mage.
Yeah.
But
He's got 2 Goblin Blast Mages, in fact.
he
The
does.
boom bots, right? Is that what you're afraid of?
The boom bots.
If it kills off the Snow Chugger?
Or if it kills off the Goblin Blast Mage.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh man. Here we go. 2 bombs.
Okay.
All right.
Wow, I'd say that's pretty best case.
Oh,
Hit the
best
face
case would
for
have
1.
hit the Goblin Blast Mage twice for 2 damage or 3 damage.
Oh yeah, that's true, since you're going to replay it.
Right.
Yep.
Wow, so much direct damage to the face. Oh my goodness. This game has escalated so quickly. And Gaara can't really play around the Firebolt top deck.
No, but I mean, he could put a double Molten Giant. Now, the big thing here is, do you clear the Piloted Shredder off the board
Yeah.
or do you push for damage because you know you're going to be on a clock?
It's a good point.
Because
Well, if you leave up what's here, that's 11 points of damage on board, and you're gonna put 16 points of taunt on this turn, right?
yeah, but you need to preserve the damage that you're placing on the board. Because even if he just kills off the board next turn, he's at a fireball to win,
Right.
and you're at a Draxus just to stay alive. The
Okay,
following
if you
turn.
do damage this turn, you have 18, and then you put 2 giants and you Shadow Flame. I think it's pretty reasonable. Tap. I guess tapping is okay because in the end it's the same since it's just Fireball. He already used
Yeah.
both Frost Bolts.
I mean, Ping's gonna. Well, I guess if
what
he's
a
putting that
board.
many.
Amaz needs Fireball right now. I think he also
Yes.
might have to kill his Goblin Blast Mage just so that it reduces the damage and pushes through. No, Noyotron's not it. Is there something he can get off his Pilot Shredder? Another Noyotron?
Oh,
Because
well.
Noyotron does end up staying alive.
A Noyotron, yeah, keeps him alive.
Like a second Noyotron.
No,
right?
a Noyotron right now keeps him alive.
Well, no, because there's Shadow Flame,
What to do?
right?
What to do?
Like you attack with the Sun Fury into it,
Okay,
and then
so
you
he
Shadow
could
Flame.
clear one of the giants here with Ping, Whirling Blades, and what's on the board. Then there would be 16, 20.
Defender Vargas.
Oh, Defender Vargas.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna need something. He's gonna need some help off his Pilot Shredder.
hmm No, I don't think there's any. Yeah, no.
Hold on. What if Pilot Shredder gives you something that you can Time Rewinder for 2 mana?
What could you Time Rewinder for 2 mana that would save you?
Not
Micro Machine.
was not it. So he can freeze another minion with Snow Chugger too. I forgot about that. That keeps him alive. The Snow Chugger freezing a minion.
Wouldn't it be the same as just killing a minion?
Well, I'm saying you attack into the 8/8 with
Okay,
the
yeah,
Snow
yeah.
Chugger, so you
Yeah.
don't die.
Because you wouldn't
Because
be
if
able
he
to kill it
holds,
without
he's
Ping.
actually dead. If he doesn't freeze a giant here.
Do you freeze the one with
Yes.
low health? Or the one with... Okay.
Oh!
Oh!
What a draw from Gaara. That's actually right there at the game. Amaz can't come back from that. There's just way too much.
He can even tap.
Yeah, but most likely I think he will Antique Healbot and then maybe even Shadow Flame.
Shadow Flame, yeah. I wouldn't mind that.
So many possibilities.
Just has to go over every permutation. As much as it's like a card that you've been looking for, you have to make sure to find the optimal play. This is one of Gaara's strengths as a player because he's really meticulous about everything.
You can check out more from Gaara at tempostorm.com.
That was TJ saying. That wasn't Frodan.
No, that was Frodan.
But
Don't-
thank
don't-
you, TJ. Your check's in the mail.
Don't let him.
Okay, so now Amaz needs Deathwing. I wasn't gonna miss that one.
For those of you that didn't tune in yesterday, every single week, Frodan, when someone plays Hunter and they're about to lose, he said, oh, they can top deck Deathwing. Well, yesterday was a player named UNC Tennis who actually played Deathwing and Hunter.
If it is Fatigue Mage, I would say it's pretty strong, but
It is
it looks
not.
like to be a mid-range tempo mage. Right? With Shade Next Rammus and Water Elemental?
Yeah.
I don't know how this mage actually does. I'm actually like having a hard time gauging it currently on the totem pole. Like, where do you think it sits relative to Hunter?
I think it'd probably be middle of the pack as far as other variations of mage go. I don't think it would be as good as like a faster mage or fatigue mage with a great start like Deathlord.
Right.
But I think that it's better than freeze mage.
Well, one thing's for sure, it probably still sucks to see an Undertaker in turn 1. Or, if you pick up a way to silence it, that's actually not too inconvenient of a play. I think silencing the Undertaker here is extremely warranted, considering, 1, the Iron Beak Owl will challenge everything on the board, but 2, you don't want to take too much damage. Ah, alright. Mad Scientist is good for the tempo too, though.
Yeah.
It's just sad because we know what's coming next.
Yes.
3/4 Undertaker.
Yes, we do. And a pretty good curve as well for Amaz. Got a turn 3 Animal Companion followed by Houndmaster.
It's just too valuable to give up the Mad Secret. The Mad Secretist. The Mad Scientist Mage. It's just so good because it's 3 mana that you put into play. The tempo that you gain is really valuable. And Gaara might pick up a Mirror Entity, or he might pick up a Counter Spell which denies an Animal Companion.
Without a taunt, though, if he picks up like Duplicate, Hunters will just ignore Duplicate.
Also a good point. But you can't ignore Water Elemental, for example. And I think Gaara was also heavily relying that Amaz would do a play like this, where he wouldn't acknowledge his Mad Scientist because he wants him to make the trade. And so maybe he can now silence the Undertaker, kill it off, and keep the Mad Scientist alive. And as a result, Mad Scientist 3-for-1s because he kills off 2 minions and it puts a secret into play.
I wonder.
That could be Gaara's thinking, in which case that's very advanced and forward thinking and reliant that your opponent makes the exact moves and plays optimally.
But you also have to think, then next turn, if he plays Duplicate, he gets Duplicate from the Mad Scientist.
Right.
He can force Gaara to duplicate an
owl?
Ironbeak Owl.
That's not so bad, honestly.
Compared to Water Elemental,
Sure.
Sledge Belcher.
But most likely Hunter is going to be directing the aggression towards the mage because he's going to be rushing it down, especially with this kind of start.
That's an elegant way to put it.
Oh!
He's going to be directing his aggression towards the facial region.
That voice is so good. The Doctor.
Dr. Hunter.
Dr. Hunter. Well, you see here, you seem to have too much health. So let's just put some damage there.
We're going to start a course of treatment of...
What do you know? Guess he's dead.
That went to like Jim Raynor way too quickly.
What do you know? Guess she's dead. Well, the good thing is Gaara does have Frostbolt. Amaz putting on a lot of pressure here. He needs to also test to see what secret this is. And it's good that he's testing it too before the bow, so that way he's not accelerating the damage. Freezing trap.
Okay. Yeah, you have Frostbolt.
Minimize damage as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Realistically, Gaara might run out of time. Hunter might just have too much damage, and he might not have enough time to recover the state of the board.
Whoa.
It's a lot of damage.
I would feel inclined to play Houndmaster here, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's a really strong option. The Houndmaster for Amaz, it's just 4 damage that you want to invest in. Because you have the Eagle Horn Bow, which is 6, and assuming you can hero power twice with it, that's 10. You just need to put together like 7 damage effectively, which you can do with the Houndmaster in a kill command.
Yeah.
And you just weave that in throughout turns.
This maximizes the damage more efficiently because you can Eagle Horn Bow.
Perfect draw.
Wow.
That was the draw he needed. I feel like Gaara's been getting very fortunate in these games. And Amaz has actually gotten relatively okay draws, but it hasn't actually panned out as well for him.
There's a beast in the picture of the Houndmaster.
Yeah.
If only that counted. This could be a lot better of a removal.
I wonder.
Thank goodness for that too. If Houndmaster actually counted as a beast, I think a lot of people would have quit playing Hearthstone about 6 months ago.
Yep. Seriously though, that would be ridiculous.
On the flip side, Hemming Nesawary would have probably been a legit thing, because Hunter would have been so dominant that people would have played Hemming.
I remember reading a Reddit thread where people were talking about the potential of GVG cards, and people hated Hunter so much that most people were thinking that Hemming Nesawary was going to be, oh, auto-include, Kazan Mystic, auto-include. My, have the times changed. Gooby
GJ's also, I mean, if you... A Kazan Mystic.
I just said Kazan Mystic, and I was about to say Gooby actually played Kazan Mystic.
You have the gift.
No, not as much as you.
I was gonna make a joke, but I forgot.
I'm glad.
You hate my joke. How much damage is this? Not enough. Starting to get close though. Very interesting. I think Gaara got the matchup he wanted. Mage versus Hunter, and he has the Kazan Mystic, but it just doesn't actually work out. He also needs to swing with his bow, because most likely this Water Elemental will shut down any Eagle Horn bow usage from this point on.
Yeah, you need to get it out while you can. And he can actually, well, that would put him at, what, 9 health?
9 health.
So if 2 more creatures end up on the board,
Well,
which
he
is
might
very
kill off
unlikely.
the Mad Scientist, too, to protect his Knife Juggler. Make him go into a hard trade.
That's very true. And then if he does draw into a second Eagle Horn bow, he'll have 1 extra turn to attack unfrozen. But maximizing damage.
Okay, well, Echo doesn't do anything here. What secret could he get? Wonder if he has anything defensive at all.
Doesn't
It
seem
has
like
to be offensive.
Yeah.
Oh, if he has Counterspell, he might be able to deny like a kill command if Amaz doesn't sequence correctly.
I'm thinking Counterspell might be unlikely.
It's most likely Mirror Entity or Duplicate,
Yeah.
right? Because it's one of those decks with Echo of Medivh.
Yeah. Let's see. Wonder if we can.
It's a Duplicate. Okay.
Doesn't help him.
I'm really starting to think Gaara just ran out of time here. He just doesn't have enough time to like recover the board state. He has to actually start like attacking the face to start like doing damage and racing, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, even if he stabilizes, eventually the hero power is just going to kill him outright.
Like, I mean, Amaz he just has to hero power and then. Oh wait, does he have enough damage? No, he's 1 mana short. I was like, does he have lethal here?
I think he might want to unleash here just to test the waters for counterspell.
I wouldn't mind testing with just Web Spinner first. Web Spinner most likely will give you a beast back anyways for kill command.
That's true. But maybe not a beast cheap enough to be able to play on the same turn as a kill command or as a hero power.
Okay, sure.
Because this sets up for just Web Spinner. Now he knows not counterspell.
Man, if Gaara has Antique Heal Bot. Oh! No way! How is he doing this?
These draws are pretty insane.
Gaara is running so well right now.
Pretty insane.
And he's got Echo of Medivh!
He was on lethal next turn.
What?
That was his only
This
out.
game just took a complete 180.
Double Echo of Medivh. I mean, next turn he can Echo of Medivh and then play
Oh
it.
my god.
And then the next turn he can Echo of Medivh and play again.
No way.
I think that just won Gaara the game. Actually, I'm almost positive that that just won Gaara the game. What?
It doesn't matter. He just keeps healing himself.
Yeah, no, I'm like... That wasn't even the Sledge Belter draw that I was wutting.
So he
'Cause
takes
that's
the snake trap.
inconsequential.
Takes a snake trap. He activates another secret. The third secret is Mirror Entity.
Duplicate
Amaz
ants.
gets the Stone Tusk Boar. And Gaara's Mage is having a rave of some sort. It's actually looking really cool.
Yeah, well, I'd be raving at this point as well.
Alright, so Gaara is going to get a Stone Tusk Boar copy. Amaz is shaking in his boots. And
Yikes.
the last chance for Amaz actually is a second kill command, right? Or is he dead?
No. Well,
10,
even if he's
14,
not dead.
No, he's not dead. Wait. 4, 10, 14, 15. He's 1 damage off lethal?
Oh, he can... It's Stone Tusk
Yeah,
Boar.
Stone Tusk Boar.
Okay,
But he can't echo again.
okay. He wouldn't be able to Echo twice and Hero Power.
Right.
Whew.
Wow. So Gaara's going to be super diligent. And wow, what a game number 2. I can't believe that top deck.
That's heartbreaking for Amaz.
Oh wow. Wow, I forgot about this. Amaz actually is only a few points off from killing his opponent as well. Silencing and getting really close. That's a 0-2. And Gaara, once again, is going to be able to make a pretty strong comeback and take a very, like, peace out. I'm going on vacation, and I'll see you guys in like 2 weeks. Like that's how Gaara felt because of so much bad RNG happening.
So he just cashed
So
in.
he just cashed in just now.
Yeah.
Back-to-back games.
He took all those files.
His handlock game was pretty insane too, with the draws that he was getting.
And they weren't even screenshots. He actually took a camera, took a picture of his monitor, uploaded it from his camera to his computer, then sent it to you. That's
No. He just
that's
pressed
how
F-
old-fashioned
he
he
just
is.
pressed F12. He pressed F12 and uploaded it to Skype. So.
Ruined my moment.
Sorry. Well, Zoo versus the Paladin. Now, Enhanto Meccano is an interesting card to include. It was one of those cards that people experimented a lot with and said, well, isn't this card actually OP? And
Yes.
Then people stopped playing it.
No, the answer is yes.
But people stopped playing it.
I actually put Enhanto Meccano in my Hobgoblin Warrior deck.
Oh my god. DJ has a Hobgoblin Warrior deck that he won't ever stop talking about.
And I won't ever show it to anybody. I mean, I've given away little hints and little pieces of it over the course of the 8 weeks that we've broadcasted. So if people want to go back and watch all 100 hours plus of the VODs and piece together every single Hobgoblin puzzle piece that I've dropped along the way, they can make the deck and become legendary, so to speak.
You're still not getting on Tempo Storm. Well, this is a pretty lightning fast start from Amaz. Now, Gaara does have the muster for battle, thankfully. But then Amaz still has like a pretty strong scenario if he just picks up one Death Rattle minion that costs 1 mana. That's all he has to do, pick up a Death Rattle minion for 1 mana. Is that so hard to ask for?
Not really. Well, maybe it is.
Well, he can clean up the 1/1s.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get around playing. You're not gonna be able to play around Consecration at all, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. You have to cash in now.
Do you play Knife Jug or do you tap?
To be honest,
This is actually really tough. Amaz has been hit with so many tough decisions throughout the series.
yeah. I was going to lean towards actually the Knife Juggler play, but I think the more I think about it, the less I like it. Because you can use the Knife Juggler to combo a little bit later on, and you know that it's pretty much going to die for free.
Just look at the power of Paladin now. Like, he sees firm control of the board. All is left is a 1/1 Undertaker. And you have a Pilot Shredder. Like, if anyone wasn't convinced about Muster for Battle or Shield and Minibot, like, just look at what it did to the Zoo matchup all of a sudden.
Yeah, that was a great start with Undertaker.
Let me
It could have flipped the other
Double
way
flame
with a Death Rattle on the Undertaker so it could be buffed so it can kill a shitty Shield
sure.
Minibot, but
He can even preserve his Shield Minibot here if he's willing to take an extra 3 damage. I don't see why he wouldn't be willing to.
I wonder.
Is he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking about Knife Juggler.
Yeah,
Juggles,
Knife
right.
Juggler and Hero Power.
The validity of doing that. That's actually a pretty strong play too. The Pilot Shredder can get destroyed by Abusive Sergeant as well, so it's not as simple as like just dropping it.
It is a lot stickier.
But it does drop you another minion to fight against whatever the Abusive Sergeant Plus comes out.
If he gets a juggle on one of the flame imps.
Yeah. Oh, actually I was not expecting this play, and I like it.
How so?
Because the 3/3 body is really valuable. You can still keep the Knife Juggler out of
Okay.
dangerous rounds. And the only thing is that I think it's like comparable to the Pilot Shredder, but just what is more important is that you're maximizing your Shield and Minibot.
Yeah. Wow, that's Amaz. can't really catch a break. Joko goes to face, so he's not able to either take the shielded mini bot off the board or be able to kill all their peacekeepers.
Amaz has been really unlucky this series.
Yeah.
But you know what?
It's not something you hear very often.
You know what? I think he might have used up all of his luck on that stealth mail Ganas. What was that all about when I was watching that on the front page?
I don't know.
It's like, how did this even happen?
So
it's one of those things when your friend calls you and he's like, hey TJ,
Let me
I need you to come over, help me with something. It's like, what? And like, just come over. You come. It's just like this weird, awkward scenario. You're like, how did this even happen? It's like spaghetti on the roof, and like the dog is like caught in between the stairs, and the desk is like halfway out the window. You're like, what happened, Dan? You're like, I don't have time to explain. Just come and help.
That's happened before.
It didn't actually happen.
Frodan had his fist
I
stuck in
imagine
a
some
mason
pretty
jar.
colorful scenarios, TJ. But one thing's in common: I need help in all of them.
Ooh, cockhammer.
The cockhammer is pretty nice, actually. You get to trade
Yeah.
efficiently with the Divine Shield. One thing you have to be mindful of is how much health that you're at, because if you're using weapons to trade so much, are you taking too much damage? With Power Overwhelming and strong means like Lotheb, Amaz can still make a push to kill.
Yeah. Once you gain control of the board, though, it's sometimes your health total just doesn't matter as much.
The taunt is actually surprisingly really effective too, so that way it's not like if a Doomguard gets pushed here, you can't top deck and push.
Yeah.
And in fact, the Undertaker draw here is very weak. This is the downside that I was hearing about Undertaker had. I never saw one with my own eyes, but I guess this is the downside that they so speak of Undertaker.
I just heard about it.
Legends foretell that late game Undertaker draws might actually be bad.
But early game, it's the...
This winter.
This winter, Keanu Reeves is... The Undertaker.
I think Keanu Reeves is Ben Bro. God, that's one impression I don't think I'll ever be able to nail. If I ever like sat down and dedicated myself,
Ben Bro?
I don't think I could copy Ben Bro.
No.
Oh, it's the Patient Assassin!
Whoa!
I talked about this card every single time last week with Raynette because we made a guess. We started playing a guessing game of what 2-drop we thought it was. And every time I said it's Patient Assassin because that's the best 2-drop, in my opinion, that you could get. Because it's just so good. It just destroys everything. And Gaara, to capitalize his good draws and his good run, to underline it, is this Patient Assassin. Because now Doomguard gets stopped. Amaz is in such big doo-doo.
Yes. To put it lightly. Because now, he can't play Doomguard. Well, he can, but it...
Well, he might as well play Lotheb first.
Yeah, but if he plays Lotheb, it's just going to die to Patient Assassin. If he plays Doomguard, he's going to have to throw it into the Lotheb anyway, because at that point in the game, he'll have taken so much damage that he'll have to just sort of stall out the bleeding.
Yeah.
And then the Patient Assassin wouldn't have mattered anyway, because he could just trade something else in.
Maz doesn't want his opponent to draw cards either, so Voidwalker just allows that Acolyte of Pain to get value. This is such a nightmare for Amaz. And partially why Paladin has definitely seen a strong resurgence. Its ability to handle aggro while still remaining a mid-game tempo play, or even scale into late game control with its quality combinations. Granted, it's not as strong as it is late game as it used to be, but this is a large reason of why it's so good.
That's sort of the nature of mid-game decks. It's just being able to still be aggressive while having the potential to transition the deck into late game. It's a desperation move.
I say you Acolyte of Pain and with the Elder Peacekeeper on this. Just draw cards. Why not?
Yeah, you have to end up killing it anyway because your opponent can draw an Owl plus a Power Overwhelming.
Yeah, this is really, really bad spot for Amaz here. And it's just one of those. This is just one of those series where it's like you can't help but feel bad for Amaz because it's like there's actually like he couldn't do anything. Gaara also rushed the decision. He's realizing he probably should have attacked first.
Yeah. Patient Assassin still lives.
But
And,
this will be the final turn, and
Alright.
Amaz can't do anything, so that means Gaara advances to semifinals 3-0. And, well, more importantly, he stays alive in the competition with a chance to advance to the LAN finals. He's going to be playing up against Savitz.